Hi guys, so for my live encounter, I decided to go to the Mattress Factory on the north side, and the reason I decided to go here was because growing up about 15 minutes outside the city, every single school outing and school field trip was always to the Pittsburgh Art Museum and the Symphonic Orchestra, so I wanted to switch it up a little bit, and I tried the Mattress Factory and it was really cool. I liked it. I'd never really been around contemporary art before, so it was definitely different. But for some history on it, it did used to be an actual mattress factory. It was founded as a museum in 1977 by artists for other artists, and since then over 650 artists have gone through with their exhibits. So the first exhibit I want to talk about is The Nay by James Turrell. It's the picture on the top left with the white room with the blue light in the middle. And for some background, James has an obsession with light, and he always manipulates lights in his installations for his exhibits. The reason he has this obsession is because he has a background as a Quaker. So as a Quaker, he was supposed to look for the light within. So he expresses this through his work. And the interesting thing about this piece is the only material made out of it is drywall, paint, ultraviolet, and incandescent light. So that's all he used. And it doesn't sound like art in a way, but once you get closer, and you learn about his background, it really does express him, and I found that very, very interesting. So then the next piece I want to talk about is Spiridaren. Sorry, I have a hard time pronouncing it. By Bill Smith. It's the blue circle. So for Bill's background, he has a background in sculpture, microbiology, chemistry, and mechanics, and he creates technology-based art inspired by nature. And the interesting about this piece is if you look at it, it's a bunch of little structures put together. So something interesting that the description was talking about was it's sturdy, but it's also really fragile. They compared it to an ecosystem. So I found that really interesting. And when you look at it, it really does seem like an ecosystem only because of how it is inspired by nature. So you can really get that vibe in it. And I also found it really interesting because he does have that science background along with the mechanics to go along. So I thought it was really cool. I really like that one too. The next two I'm going to talk about kind of go together. It's the Infinity Dots Mirrored Room and the Repetitive Vision Room. So that's the one where my friend and I are goofily standing in there because that's the only picture for some reason that was saved on my phone. That's the Infinity Dots Mirrored Room, and then the next one with the mannequin with red dots on it is the Repetitive Vision Room. Both of them were created by Yayoi Kusama, and about her, she was a traditional Japanese artist, and she was a master painter, sculptor, and performance and installation. And once she moved back to Tokyo, she actually lived by her own choice in a psychiatric hospital. So a lot of her art is channeled from her mental illness, which I thought was really cool because these rooms have to deal with calming and cool. So when you first walk into the Infinity Dots room, it's the first set of doors you walk in, and that's with all the colors. It's darker, and it makes you feel calm right away because you're surrounded by mirrors and the colored dots, and with the blue colors, it calms you down. It's really interesting. I really liked it. And then once you walked into the repetitive vision room, you walk through another set of double doors, and it makes you feel anxious right away because of all the red dots. You're surrounded by more mirrors and 3 mannequins that are all everything's covered in red dots. And I really liked it because I didn't think I was going to feel that way. We read the description outside and it said you were supposed to, and my friend and I were like, we doubt it. But we tried it and it was really, really cool. And you can definitely see how she incorporates her mental illness into her work because you can see how people make her anxious and how how calm she can be at some points. I really liked it. I thought it was interesting. But I hope you guys found it interesting too, and if you have a chance to come to Pittsburgh, I would definitely check out the Mattress Factory along with everything else cool that we have in the city, but it was definitely a good experience to go through.